Talk to me.
I think that it's on like several facets from like an economic job point of view. There's a stigma that disabled people are lazy, they don't work, and they just collect that social security check because that social security check, man, really sets you up for life, $900 a month.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Right.
that stigma, like I see tweets like I see or on X that say like that people are just collecting a check, that they like game the system. It does not work like that. There's the stigma that disabled people are not attractive physically, that they are not desirable. There's a stigma that disabled people don't want to have sex or can't have sex. There's a stigma that, they shouldn't have kids. Somebody told Jacqueline once that she should not have biological children because she'll pass down her chronic illness. This was in like the first few messages on an app before he even knew whether her chronic illnesses were even genetic. And so there's a lot of discrimination and rejection. Surrounding disability, it's shocking and sad, and it's really something that we're trying to change.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there's a lot of efforts into inclusion and diversity, which are all amazing efforts, but it often excludes disability, and people don't really talk about how important it is to include disability, which it's a shame because disability is so intersectional and disability doesn't discriminate against anyone, and anyone can become disabled at any time. So I think it's important to put that at the top of the goal post, because if you hit disability, you're also gonna hit race, you're gonna hit sexuality, you're gonna hit religion,
Gender,
and gender.
everything, yeah.
So it's really important.
It's interesting. Yeah. with all of the talk around diversity and inclusion, discrimination and everything, it's true. I don't think about disability. I don't think about handicap, disability. Like, that never even enters my mind, because social media pounds us with the sex, the race, the religion, all the other stuff, and you don't hear about, okay, well, what about people that are disabled? They're discriminated against too. Like that, you don't ever hear about that. That's a good point.
Yeah, there's, 1 in 4 adults in the United States are disabled. That's a pretty stable statistic across the world. And
Wow.
disabled people do not have marriage equality. So, there's obviously this big push, 10, 15 years ago, for marriage equality among gay couples. Now, if a disabled person receives government benefits and they get married, they will lose those benefits. So there is no marriage equality for disabled people.
Wow. Okay. You just opened up a whole can of worms. We could do a whole nother podcast on now this stuff. Holy cow. Okay. What is an average disability check? Do you know what the average, if somebody goes on disability?
It depends if you're on SSI or SSDI, but I would say
I don't know what those mean. You have to tell the user.
SSI is like that is given to people who have never paid into Social Security.
So if you become disabled when you're 20.
Yeah.
I see. I see.
But SSDI is you have paid into those taxes,
so
get more.
If I become disabled tomorrow, I've been working for 15 years, I have paid into Social Security.
SSDI uses like work credits,
yes,
to determine.
So it'll depend on how long I've worked, how much I made when I worked. Social Security is it's a stable number, right, for everybody?
No.
For SSI?
No, it depends. And the most I believe at this time that a person on SSI can get is $900 a month.
That is correct.
And so it's really nothing. And also it's really hard to get approved for Social Security. Disability, it's just there are so many people who qualify and they get rejected from that.
Well, even if you do get it, how do you live? I mean, $900 might buy your groceries for the month. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe, because groceries are so expensive. I just went and I bought a week's worth of groceries and it was like over $200 and I nearly died. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is insane. And I work full time. I don't know how anyone is affording to feed themselves. It's true that stigma that disabled people are lazy and they're just sitting back, collecting this government check. It's like, how far does $900 get you in the world we live in today?
Dude,
So
yep,
it's completely
totally.
false.
And on top of that, you cannot, if you are on SSI, you cannot go over even a single penny over $2,000 in your bank account. And
Huh?
so if you have to spend that. So if you have $2,000,
Gotta be kidding me.
$2,100, they will come for you and you'll have to pay them back. And
So if you get money from a family, if you get
Yeah.
money from a friend, if you, I don't
Yeah.
know, win a prize, something, yeah, you'd be very aware.
Okay, well then people are just going to cheat the system. They'll just be like, okay, put it in my sister's account or put it in my brother or whatever. I mean, people are just,
Yes.
But that's a hoop that like this is, you know, like no one else has to jump through. I can keep all of my
Yeah.
money in one account and not have
Yeah.
to worry about it. And you shouldn't have to like do that. You know, I think it's, yeah, it's a lot. And then if you do get married, you lose those benefits because your assets are combined with your partners. And so you're immediately you don't qualify anymore.
There's
So you
so
lose
much. Okay.
freedom.
You guys don't just have a Datability app. You're not just a dating platform. You're actually a power couple that could do all kinds of good things for people with disability in so many different avenues, whether it's legislation or I don't know. I mean, there's a much bigger play here
Yes.
than maybe just a dating app from
That's in our pitch deck. We are more than a dating app. We are a movement. Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel it. Okay, great. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm reading that. I'm thinking, I'm talking to you guys. I'm going, okay, you got the dating app. That's cool. Well, there's a lot more here. Yeah, okay, I got you. So I want to ask you, we got off that. I want to ask you some stuff about men and women and dating apps. But first, let me come back, Alexa, on the investor piece.
Mhm.
Do so you truly believe, I'm sure there's stats on this. So you believe there are VC firms that straight up are discriminating against you because because it's because it's people with disability, and you also
I
said
think it's sorry, go ahead.
and you also said because you're women, and
Yes.
I mean right now, okay, all right, all right, the fact that they might be discriminating against you because of the disability, I think that's shameful if they are I mean, if they're doing that, I mean, it's like, that's just crazy that they would make that decision. Now, the female piece, I mean, right now, I would think that's a huge attraction. I mean, everybody I talk to, if you're a female founder, you have more likely getting to get funded than me as an old white guy to get funded, basically. Now, that's not what you're seeing?
That's not the reality. The reports come out every year about VC funding and the percentage that women get. And I think it's like, is it like 2%? Am I making that up? And I know that Forbes, the statistic that disabled founders are 400 times less likely to get VC money was from Forbes. So I did not make that up. What I think, I don't know if it's like straight up discrimination though. I think it's more nuanced. I think we get the feedback that the dating app market is oversaturated.
Okay.
And I would agree with them.
Okay. Yep.
Somebody like me who is not disabled, the dating app market is oversaturated. I literally have so many apps I could join. However, Datability is the only dating app for disabled and chronically ill people. And I think where the discrimination piece comes in is that they have a hard time appreciating this problem we're solving. They don't understand how hard it would be for a disabled person to date and the discrimination they face. And so they don't really appreciate what we're doing. And that's where it comes in.
And we've also had a lot of feedback, subtly and not so subtly, that talking about intimacy and disability makes people uncomfortable, and that people don't want to think about disabled people having sex. And so we'll often get the advice, you should pivot into a friendship or companion app. And
Really?
great, friendship
Interesting.
is important. And we want to eventually, have an official friendship feature, but disabled people also want to date. And like
Sure.
that's the truth.
And that was the problem that you were experiencing that we wanted to solve. It's from a personal, experience. And we wanted to, and that's what we're going to do. We're not going to pivot. So
if anything, I would think a disabled person is more lonely physically, sexually than the average person because it's harder to get laid, so to speak. I mean, I hate to use, I mean, it's just, I would think it's harder.